Hi everyone, today I would like to talk about when prison wives meet someone new, when to tell them that we have a husband in prison, or even do we tell them? I really would like to hear about your insights on this. I don't think I have the perfect solution. It doesn't look like it's going too well for me, but this is how I do it. So first, I think I need to go a little bit in the past and talk about how I told my friends and family. I already made a video about their reaction and everything, I think, so if I found it, I'll link it below. But to sum up quickly, I didn't have my relationship with my husband, so with my boyfriend at the time, from the beginning. Anyone who was in contact with me, once I met him, once we were official, I told, you know, it was not a secret. I think I sort of came out on my Facebook. I posted a picture of him. I don't really remember when, like Christmas or New Year's, because we were together. The first time I visited him was during the winter holidays, so we had all the holidays together. So I think I posted a picture of us on Facebook and, you know, just came out. And mostly people seem okay with it, but everything went south when I sent my wedding announcement. Yeah, I think I said that in my video also, but I sent a bunch of wedding announcements to my family and they never spoke to me again after that. It's not what I really want to talk about, but I think, of course, most people, they have to start with telling their families, and it's always complicated. So this is how I did it. I mean, people knew I were gonna visit, and then I posted a picture, we're together, and then, you know, I visited. I mean, we've been together 2 years before we got married, so I just talked about my relationship on social media, whatever. Just like any other relationship, no secret, no nothing. But then I did the wedding announcement. I just tried to be nice and to not hurt anyone's feeling, and just so people couldn't be mad at me for not telling them, you know, the official right way. It just worked against me. Never feel like you have to do anything. Just do the way you want to do if you want to do it, and that's it. After that, I had the opportunity to meet some of my friends to say goodbye before I came here, so they already knew the relationship, they already knew we were married, and they already knew I was trying to get my visa, because most of them, I saw them when I was going for my interview in Paris. So at this point, I'm really only seeing accepting people already. They did have questions. I don't mind questions. I would answer questions, as you know, I'd rather answer a question and educate people if there's a need to educate people. I don't know, them being rude or talking behind my back. Like, if you have a question, if there's something you don't understand, ask me, because I probably have the answer. Or my husband's, but then you have to contact him. It's a little bit more complicated. Fast forward, I'm living in the US. I came here, I knew no one. I had 0 friends here. I just knew his close family, because of course most of his family also turned their back on him. Now I'm here, married to that guy on death row, on a case that is somewhat infamous, and I have his last name, and he's gonna go through a resentencing. So it is when I move here just a couple of weeks before, well, the case is kind of back on the news. So that was scary. So now my strategy is, I want people to get to know me a little bit. I don't want to tell people right away, because they're gonna think I'm crazy, they're gonna think I'm a prison groupie, they're gonna think, I don't know what they're gonna think, but it's not gonna be good. So if they get to know me first, they might like me. And so when they will find out that my husband is in prison, they'll certainly be, you know, more accepting, I think, because they will already like me. And then now at this point, it would be weird to be like, ooh, I don't think you're a good person just because your husband is in prison. And it's a strategy that works okay. but I cannot do it all the time, and I'll explain. So this is my strategy at work. I know that my husband is gonna be on the news. I am scared of that. I am sometimes worried for myself, if I can say it this way. When I started working here, I worked because now I moved in the agency, but at first it was in a very family type atmosphere at work. We were only 6 people, and there were other people gravitating around, but it was always the 6 people always together every day. And you know, you sort of know everything about each other, and I would be pretty vague about my husband, and then eventually, I think, you know, once I told one person, I think they probably all knew. But anyway, I didn't really make a secret. I was like, you know, my husband is in prison. I only see him in the weekend. And I think the only questions I really had were the first question is always, when does he get out? So my answer is like probably never, which is always like whew. And sometimes people ask me why, and I'm like, I can't talk about the case, but you know, it's bad. It went pretty well. I didn't notice any change towards me or around me, so that was good. So then I changed position. I'm still working in the same agency, but with different people. My supervisor knows, and my coworkers, I think some of them know, some don't. I don't really know. I thought some people knew and found out one time when they were, you know, one time one of my coworkers told me, oh, you know, you should just take your husband and go on a walk, and it was like, oh. Maybe she doesn't know. I like to wait like a month or two so people like really have a chance to get to know me. And so when I tell them, they usually, you know, tell me, you do what you gotta do. I mean, that's how it is. Sometimes they feel sorry. I don't want them to feel sorry, but I'd rather they feel a little sad for me than just being judgmental. I'm sure they have a lot of questions. I'm sure not everyone understands. But at least they act normal with me, and that's all I want. But then there's like a second layer, because he's on death row. Even if it's technically right now he doesn't have a sentence, he's still on death row, and I visit him on death row, and he's been on death row for 10 years. Actually more than that. He's been in prison 14, so like 11 years on death row. I really avoid saying is on death row, because I feel like if I tell people that my husband is in prison, they can't understand that. If I tell them he's on death row, you know what death row means. People think only the worst of the worst are on death row, which unfortunately is really not true, but this is still the image that people have outside, and I don't want them to think of my husband this way, and I don't want them to think that I'm crazy. They're definitely gonna think I'm crazy, especially if I tell them I didn't know him before. Yeah, I just try to leave the death row on the side, because actually right now it's not even lying, which I never lie. Like if you would straight ask me, I would tell you, but I just don't want to bring this up. I don't think it's needed, because the point is my husband is in prison and he's not coming home, and I don't think people need more details than that. That is my work situation, so some people know that I don't care. I am a little worried once it's on the news that people just start looking at me differently. I'm hoping they will have known me long enough at that point to not do that, but you really don't know. And I mean, if it happens, I just keep going there and do my job on my side, and that's it. There's really nothing I can do against that. And in a work situation, you can't really choose the people you work with. So when I meet people in my personal life, it's very different. I would like to do the same, but I can't waste my time or their time if it's going to be a problem. I really do want to meet people but it's hard because I'm very busy. And also I had that experience that I think I also told in a different video, where I really got along with someone I met online, but then we met and then I told her and then she ghosted me when we were like texting all the time before. We were talking, so I'm kind of changing. I'm kind of wondering what's gonna work. So I would like to hear how it's working for you, but maybe you're not trying to meet people because you already have your friends. I'm just a foreigner in a new country, and I would like to settle here. I would like to have friends. I would like to go out more. I would like to see more. Sometimes I feel very lonely, and I love being alone, but I don't want to feel lonely. So yeah, I would like to have a couple of good friends. I turned to the internet and I tried one of those girlfriends app. My idea at the time was like, okay, we get along. I don't want to say right away because I don't want to tell my life story to a stranger. But so we're testing a lot. We decide to meet and we have dinner, and I'm like, I'm gonna tell her right now because if it's gonna be a problem, I don't want to lose more friends. I had friends before. I lost some of them because of that, and I just don't want to go through it again. And I wrote a French article and about my relationship, and I remember people telling me, some people commenting on it and saying, you know, I understand our friends that don't want to hear about it, like maybe we could still be friends, but I wouldn't want to hear about a love story with that guy. And I'm like, I don't want to be a friend with someone like you. Like, I know she was trying to be, you know, polite in a way, and like still like, I think what she meant was like, I'm not gonna turn my back completely on my friend if she get in a relationship with that kind of guy, but I don't want to hear about it, which I respect. And if her friends can do that, woman, okay. But me, I want to be able to talk about my relationship because my husband is super important to me, and I'm here for him because of him, and he's just such a big part. I just don't know how I could just not talk about him. And also, this is tough shit I'm going through, so I would need a couple of friends to vent or to listen to me, and you know, to be a little sympathetic about it. So yeah, I feel like it's something I need to be straightforward because I need to know right away. If it's going to be a problem, let's just stop right here. So I met that girl, everything was great. We had dinner, I told her, it seemed like she was okay, and then she ghosted me, so I will never know. But it kind of gave me cold feet. So now I feel like if I meet someone and we talk a little bit online and we get along, and I feel like maybe we are considering meeting in person, then I should tell them right away. I actually met someone just a few days ago, and that's what I did. And we actually had lunch together today, and it looked like it went well, but I don't know. I mean, I told her about death row today. Just because of all the things I'm going through, there are things that I just cannot hide. And I don't want to hide, I just don't want to go into details because this is deep, and I don't want to be the drama friend, because I'm not like, my life is hard, but I'm really like, I'm a okay girl. Like, I mean, I can be quite fun to be around, I swear. So I don't want people to think like I'm too heavy and it's gonna be, you know, like I'm gonna be the party pooper. This is just the situation, this is how it is, and most of the time I'm just, you know, okay living my life. And I would not be like crying all the time. If you were hanging out with me, I would not be complaining all the time about my husband being on death row. So yeah, but I do want to be able to do it sometimes if I need to. I feel I went a little bit all over the place, and I'm not sure I said everything I wanted to say. I'm not sure I finished all my ideas. I may have started some stories and never finished them. I don't know. I just really would like to know how you handle it. I assume a lot of women just hide their relationship completely. I actually know women who would do that. And I also understand that they probably have a couple of good friends and they just hide it to their coworkers and everything. I'm just really bad at lying. I can't lie, so I can be vague, but I will not lie. I feel like if I'm hiding my relationship, it means I have to be ashamed, and I don't think I should be ashamed. And also, I don't want to hurt my husband by hiding him and him thinking I might be ashamed. Obviously, it is embarrassing at times. Obviously, this is not the best situation. It's complicated. People need to have an open mind and have the time and the curiosity to understand why and how you got there and who it really is. So most of the time people just judge you right away, and they don't want to make those efforts. They don't even want to think about it. They just want to judge you on the spot. This is just how things work. What does your husband do for a living? Well, he's incarcerated. Yeah, I'm not proud of that, you know, but that's just the fact. I mean, what else can I say? That's just how it is. So how do you do it? Like, do you tell people right away? Do you wait for them to know and like you? Do you not say anything? Let me know in the comments, what are your techniques? How are you doing it? What's working or what's not working for you? And if you have some tips about how to handle when the media comes into play, I would like to hear that. Until next time, take care.